Well, hello there, Heart of Junction. It's been a very, very Heart of Junction Thursday for me today. But what we want to do here is put out a couple of videos as quickly as we can, something close to daily. But what we want to do is something just a little bit different. I know there's a lot of places where you can get teaching. I know there's going to be teaching coming from us. We're going to have a sermon on Sunday. I think we're going to do sermon notes as well, and maybe on Wednesdays. Kind of go over some of those questions and maybe do something a little bit different. But for daily videos, just to kind of keep everybody together and thinking about some of the same things throughout this quarantine and throughout however long this takes. I just want to teach you something that I've done for years and years. It's called the Psalms of the Day. And all you do is you have 5 Psalms. You start with the day of the month. Today's the 19th. So you start with Psalm 19, add 30. So you do 19, 49, 79, so on and so forth. And you just read all 5 and pray back to God whatever it is that those Psalms sort of show in your own life. This is something I do on my own. It's not for study. It's not for teaching. In the morning, I do those Psalms, and it is just a time for me to be with God, for me to do some prayer, for Him to speak to me, for me to speak back to Him, and that's kind of the size of it. But we thought it'd be kind of cool. I'm not sure even how much other stuff is going on online right now. I know there's a ton. But this would be something that's a little bit different. We hope you'd write some comments down below. But we're going to show you what we do in the morning, what I do in the morning at least. And I think Blythe is going to start with Psalm 19.
Yeah, so don't let this be weird. Just join in with us as we read these Psalms. We won't always read all 5. Sometimes we'll read 1. Sometimes we might read parts of all of them. But we kind of have chosen Psalm 19 and Psalm 139 to read through today. So just let me turn there real quick. Okay, so hopefully you guys are turned there as well. Luckily you can pause this video at any time. And if there's something that you read that while we're reading that God really points out to you, pause the video and talk with God. Don't feel like you have to rush watching through the video because He is speaking to you actively. So prepare your hearts, get ready to hear from our Father, and I'm excited for this. So Psalm 119, or Psalm 19, sorry. The heavens declare the glory of God. The sky displays what His hand has made. One day tells a story to the next. One night shares knowledge with the next, without talking, without words, without their voices being heard. Yet their sound has gone into the entire world, their message to the ends of the earth. He has set up a tent in the heavens for the sun, which comes out of its chamber like a bridegroom. Like a champion, it is eager to run its course. It rises from one end of heaven. It circles around to the other. Nothing is hidden from its heat. And these next few Psalms, at least for me, are kind of what stuck out to me while reading it this morning. So I hope they stick out to you, or you can get something from them as well. The teachings of the Lord are perfect. They renew the soul. And I know that there's a lot of chaos going on right now in our country, in our world, in our own personal lives. And if your soul is uneasy, don't look to the chaos in the world to ease it. It's not going to ease it. There's only one thing that we know that can truly ease our soul and renew it and refresh it. The teachings of the Lord are perfect. They renew our soul. The testimony of the Lord is dependable. It makes gullible people wise. And we've just been talking about wisdom. So seek wisdom in this time of our life right now. In this moment in the country, be a person who is wise and not a person who is gullible. The instructions of the Lord are correct. They make the heart rejoice. Again, there's so much sadness. I've even felt it myself, a little bit of the stress going on. Again, we cannot depend on the state of this world because we know it's broken. what makes our hearts rejoice, what brings joy to us, that acts out, is the Lord and his instruction. And so we keep on that path, right? The command of the Lord is radiant. It makes our eyes shine. The fear of the Lord is pure and it endures forever. The decisions of the Lord are true and they are completely fair. They are more desirable than gold, even the finest gold. They are sweeter than honey, even the drippings from a honeycomb. As your servant, I am warned by them. And this is another thing that I got from reading the Psalms this morning, is just that reminder that we are his servants. He's made us pure. He's renewing us. He's refreshing us. He's giving us new hearts that can rejoice in him. And we are his servants. So take this time. I know it's different, but how can you be his servant even though it's completely uncomfortable right now in the world? There's a great reward following them. Who can notice every mistake, forgive my hidden faults, keep me from sinning. Do not let anyone gain control over me. Do not let anyone gain control over me. Then I will be blameless, and I will be free from any great offense. May the words from my mouth and the thoughts from my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my rock and my defender. In that last verse, I really want to zone in on as well. I think this is something that we can set our hearts to in this time. That the words of our mouths do not speak of, uncomfortability with what's going on because we're comfortable in the Lord, not in what's going on right now. Our thoughts are not of unbelief or lack of faith, but our thoughts are solid in the Lord. And what's acceptable to him, that he is our rock and he is our defender. And so, do you want to read Psalm 139 and then we pray? Or?
Sure.
Okay. So just take some time, really meditate on some of these things in this next psalm. We're going to skip ahead to Psalm 139. Zach is going to go through that one. And then afterwards we're going to pray. So I welcome you guys to join Zach and I in some prayer as well.
Psalm 139. O Lord, you have searched me and you know me. You know when I sit down, when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in behind and before, and lay your hand before me. Such knowledge is too wonderful me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit? Where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you, and the night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you. For you formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in the secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book they were written, every one of them. The days that were formed for me, when I was yet there, was none of them. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I would count them, they are more than the sand. I awake and I'm still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. O men of blood, depart from me. They speak against you with malicious intent. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord? And do I not loathe those who raise up against you? I hate them with a complete hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So, Father, When I think about these Psalms, and I think about Psalm 139 especially, the idea that you know everything from beforehand. You know everything from the very beginning. You know all about me. You can search me and know me. Show me if there's any way inside of me that I haven't even seen myself yet. I'm always struck by that idea, especially in times of trouble, times that are different than other times, times where we don't know what the future holds for us, but we know that you hold the future in your own hands. That we can ask for you to look inside of us and show us the things about ourselves that we have been unable to see up to this point. It's an amazing thing to think about. There are all sorts of things in Psalm 139 that I think are remarkable and amazing. It's a well-known psalm, and it should be. It's a beautiful poem. But Father, I'm constantly amazed at the true breadth of your power. The idea that not only do you know things inside of me that I don't know, that I have to ask you to show them to me, but you know the same thing for Blythe and for Darren and for 7.5 other billion people on the planet, and you know them all. Something about being knit together in my mother's womb at a time when so many people tell us at this point that those aren't even people who are being knit together yet, that the cells dividing a few at a time. You were in that process. You were building that process. You were making me in that process, and that the whole time you knew the beginning from the end. And in a time like this, when we are uncertain about the future, I know that I personally uncertain about things that are going to happen in my life in the next day, in the next week, in the next couple of weeks. One of the things that you ask of us, I think absolutely, and we can see it through these Psalms, is that you ask that we understand that you know the end of the story. And regardless of what the end of the story is, you know it and you've made it and you love us all along the way. And Father, I think today, on the 19th of the month, I'm very thankful for that.
Father God, I just want to continue in prayer with Zach on this thought that, it's moments like these that call for us to be easily shaken, because we have no control, because we don't understand what the future holds, because things are not normally the way that they are. It's like the world is calling for all of us to be so easily shaken. It's okay for us to be anxious now, and it's okay for us to start panicking. But God, I pray that we are reminded of who we are surrendered to. We are not surrendered to this world, but we are surrendered to you. God, and I pray as well with Zach that we take this time to focus on what that truly means. So I pray for us. I pray for the families of Heart of Junction that we can step into a place of surrender where you can truly start renewing our souls and making our hearts rejoice and giving us wisdom. God, because you know us. You've created us. There's not a moment in time that hasn't surprised you. God, so I pray that we don't surprise you, though, with our unbelief. I pray that people can see us by our faith, can see us by our courage, can see us by our wisdom, can see us by our joy that we carry in moments like this, God. So I pray that for our church. I pray that for each individual person in our body of Christ, God. I also lift up our country, those who are sick, God. You are a healer, and I know each one of them is your children, is your child, God. So I pray that your glory be done in all situations. I pray see that, and that can be what we focus on. So Lord, we love you. I pray that we surrender our lives to you, and we can come boldly to the cross, surrendered on our knees, having complete faith in who you are and not in anything else. And in your name I pray. Amen.
And amen.
So,
Are you sleepy?
no. So I also want to let you guys know, thank you for joining with us. Continue your prayers on your own. We encourage that you do. We encourage that you read these other Psalms as well, and continue in your own one-on-one time with God, with the Creator. I'm going to be posting some additional resources down in the comments section. I'm going to post a couple songs, maybe some extra thoughts from Zach and I, and maybe Darren as well. And I encourage you guys to talk in that comment section. Let us know your thoughts on these videos, how we can be there for you more. If you liked them, just also let us know. What else? Anything else?
Don't let me know if you didn't like it. Not in the comments
yeah,
anyway.
None of that negative stuff.
just text it to me. The only thing I want to say too is that for those of you who already have a daily reading plan, that you know what you're about and you get up in the morning or you have it in lunchtime or whatever it is that you do, please do not neglect that. This is just something that we thought would be a little bit different, would be kind of cool and fun to get everybody praying a little bit and reading some Psalms together. So please do not neglect what you already do for Bible reading time.
But feel free to also join in,
Of course.
And also comment, like, if there's any of the verses in the Psalms that stuck out to you that we didn't kind of emphasize on today, and, maybe what God is speaking to you also. We'd love to be connected throughout this whole thing. So, yeah. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
Bye.